Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a comedy drama film called The Hairdresser's Husband from 1990. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. This story began when Antoine was just a child. His mother knitted him and his brother woolen swimming trunks with pom-poms depicting cherries. The problem was that these swim trunks never dried out because the boys were constantly in the water. As a result, he got irritated and walked with his legs wide apart. He was very angry with his mother, but at the same time he was grateful to her because she made him realize that manhood should be taken care of. He was about 12 years old, and he loved going to the hairdressers because the owner was incredibly beautiful in the boys' eyes. The lush woman, who did not hesitate to unbutton the top buttons of her robe, attracted Antoine so much that he would go even when there was nothing to cut, just to spend a few cherished minutes in the chair. While the woman was washing and cutting his hair, the boy inhaled a unique mixture of smells: lotion, cologne, fresh linen, and the hairdresser's body, and imagined that he was holding her in his arms. One night at dinner, a father asks his sons what they plan to do when they grow up. The eldest tells him about the profession he has chosen, and Antoine declares that he will become a hairdresser's husband, for which he receives a slap from his father and runs away to his room. From then on, the dream of marrying a hairdresser becomes the main thing in the boy's life, and he cannot think about anything else. Many years pass. In the town where elderly Antoine lives, the owner of the barbershop changes. Now the barbershop is run by a pretty young woman who serves the customers. Antoine walks into the barbershop and asks for a haircut, but Matilda is waiting for another customer and will only be able to see him in an hour. Antoine remembers his father once saying something like this: "A woman is like a crossword puzzle. The harder it is to solve, the sweeter it is when she gives up." Not understanding the meaning, the guy nevertheless remembered his father's advice. He is transported back to the present. The man hid around the corner for a long time, watching the empty salon where no one came. Antoine had fallen in love for the second time in his life, and now he intended to marry the hairdresser. The man recalls how one day, when he came to get a haircut, little Antoine came across a locked door. The hairdresser is lying on the couch, apparently asleep. With a sinking heart, the guy looks at her legs, which are exposed higher than they should be. Suddenly, the woman's dog pushes her body and the blonde woman falls to the floor. The guy does not have time to realize what has happened. People come running, break down the door, and take the hairdresser outside. The woman drank too much and died. The boy did not attend the funeral, but since that day, he has not stopped thinking about this woman. Antoine comes back from his memories and suddenly proposes to the girl, not even knowing her name. Matilda stops only for a second and then continues to cut her hair without saying another word. On his way out, Antoine apologizes to the hairdresser for his boldness and stays the night under the window of a girl who lives right above the salon. Antoine recalls how his father used to tell him as a child that there are no impossible dreams. If he didn't realize it, it meant he didn't want it badly enough. 3 weeks later, Antoine returns to the salon. Matilda is friendly and polite to the client, but they no longer speak during the haircut. One day, Matilda can't take it anymore and goes back to what Antoine said. She tells him that if it wasn't a joke or mockery, she is ready to accept his offer. At this moment, Antoine feels like a boy whose dream has finally come true. The couple immediately finds themselves on a waiting couch where they tell each other their names, talk about their interests, and make plans for their lives together. And then the girl invites him to her room upstairs. Upon learning that his son is going to marry the hairdresser after all, his old father dies of a heart attack. The mother also does not come to the wedding and refuses to meet her daughter-in-law. The celebration takes place in a hairdresser's shop, and only Antoine's brother and his wife and an old friend are present. But the small number of guests does not prevent the company from having fun. The brother gives Antoine a gift that makes everyone laugh: knitted swimming trunks with pom-poms, just like they had when they were children. From his mother, he passes on a black and white photo of Antoine and his father. During the party, a random customer walks into the barbershop and asks Matilda to shave off his beard because people think he looks too gloomy with it. At first, seeing that he has come at a bad time, the customer wants to leave, but Matilda is happy to shave him, even without charging him. When the client sees his new face in the mirror, he is upset because it has become even worse. Antoine turns on his favorite Indian music and invites the bride to dance, constantly looking at his watch, waiting for the guests to leave so that they can finally be alone together. The couple's relationship can be called fairy tale. On their honeymoon, he took her to the same beach where he used to go in woolen swimming trunks. But the honeymoon trip was very short. He couldn't wait to start family life with his beloved woman. The newlyweds returned to the hairdresser. Matilda continued to cut hair, and Antoine spent all his free time with his beautiful wife. On one of the usual days, an unfamiliar man runs into the salon and jumps into a chair as if trying to hide. His wife comes in after him, and the couple has a very emotional scene with slaps and heated glances. Everyone, including the offended man, is delighted. They already have 3 children, and his wife is still jealous of him. Barely waiting for the end of the workday, Antoine closes the door and pushes his wife against the wall, where they make love. During the lovemaking, Matilda repeats not for the first time that she is very afraid of the day when her husband will fall out of love with her or lose interest. A woman comes to the barbershop with a crying boy who needs a haircut. The visitor keeps telling Matilda that the boy was adopted. She has already regretted her decision many times and does not advise the couple to repeat this mistake. The boy crawls under a chair and his mother can't calm him down, but Antoine finds a way to approach him. He turns on Indian music and dances so that the boy stops talking and allows him to put his head in order. Antoine is happy that they have no children and nothing will spoil the figure of his beautiful wife. They have no friends, and he has always considered couples who need the company of other people suspicious. They have no close relatives, so they can devote all their time to each other. They are happy. Nothing else matters. He asks Matilda to dance and promises to buy a lottery ticket, to win and take her on a cruise on the Nile, where they will dance on the deck, cuddling and watching the sunset. Matilda is afraid that her husband will lose interest in her. Sometimes she asks Antoine to hug her so tightly that she can't breathe. The husband doesn't understand where his wife's fears come from, because he never ceases to admire and desire her. One day, he even takes advantage of the fact that the client whom Matilda washes her hair begins to doze off, and sitting down next to his wife, Antoine takes off all her unnecessary clothes and makes her feel good, giving his wife positive emotions. In the 10 years they have been married, the couple has quarreled only once, and that was for some ridiculous reason. Left alone, Antoine smokes one cigarette after another and recalls the first time he and his brother tried cigarettes. But at night, Matilda comes to pick up her husband, and they make up, not wanting to waste time quarreling. To finally make up, the couple throws a party, and since there are absolutely no strong drinks in the house, they use lotions and cologne. The couple is having such a great time that they don't have time to clean the salon or tidy up before the first clients arrive. Antoine and Mathilde visit a friend in a nursing home, where a man much older than Antoine talks about the frailty of old age and how relatives who visit him run away as soon as they show up. After the visit, the couple returns to work, and this day is no different from the others, except that the girl seems a little mysterious. As soon as the last customers leave the hairdressers, a thunderstorm begins outside and the rain pours down so hard that almost nothing is visible. In order not to waste time, Matilda gets rid of her extra clothes and demands love from her husband. The couple spends another loving evening together, but at some point the girl abruptly jumps up and runs away into the downpour, telling her husband that she needs to buy something for dinner. On her way out, she turns to Antoine as if to say goodbye. When she reaches the embankment, where the water has risen from the downpour and is raging, Matilda does not hesitate to step over the fence. When her body is pulled out of the water, a note for Antoine is found in her pocket. In it, Matilda explains that she wanted to leave before her husband's love and desire were exhausted. She wants him to remember her as young, beautiful, and desirable. It seems that nothing changes in Antoine's life. He sits in the barbershop every day with the same calm look. One day, a client comes in who knows about the old man's problems and just wants to support him. At first, Antoine offers to wash his hair, then turns on his favorite Indian music, and they dance together. But then the old man abruptly turns everything off and returns to his seat, staring at the magazine. Looking at the surprised visitor, Antoine tells him with a smile on his face that the barber will be here any minute. He just needs to wait a little longer. A sad and funny, heartbreaking and ridiculous, but very touching movie about strange people who love each other, as if they were the only ones in the world. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I'm happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. OLEJA Recapped was with you. See you soon.